Okay, I'm on a new mission. Now that I've fixed the reverb unit, I'm going to try to fix the old Bassman. I don't know if you can see that. Got it on its side so I can keep it plugged in and hear any kind of noises coming through those old Jensen speakers. But let's see, the main reason, since I fixed the reverb unit, you can hear it's fairly clear, but there's a little bit of static occasionally coming out. So I'm going to do the easy stuff and change some plate load resistors. Always keep all your old parts. Actually, these are some new parts that I took out when I went to Weber's Amp Camp because we beefed up the filtering section. This is the old strain relief for the power cord. But it's hard to remember what you've changed. So this was the resistor on the bias supply. So we put a bias pot in there. We had to change the resistor size. Now I've got two resistors in here, and these are the old caps. 1, 2, I think these are both 110K plate load resistors. I'm sure I changed it one time, but there's a few more in there, so I'm going to start. I'm not going to do anything serious to it. First place to start, I think, is the plate load resistors, and see if that cuts out the static. If not, even if I'll also disconnect all of the capacitors and check them for DC leakage. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that. Hear that little bit of crackling? You can see we put these are just some of the modifications we've done. There's the bias pot. Have to change that resistor. And I'm positive I changed these two plate load resistors because they have the 5% tolerance gold band on them, and all these usually have silver bands, which means 10% tolerance. And I just noticed that there's one on the second 12AX7. Right here that ties the two plates. This is the plate load resistor, I think, for both plates. It looks pretty toasted. Probably gets a lot of heat over the 50 years or 50 years. So just to try to simplify this thing, I'm going to do this one first. A little bit hard to get to, but I'll do that. I think that's a 110K or 100K. Let's see, what does it show? 100K resistor right here. I've got some of those. Then I'm going to start unsoldering these leads on all of these capacitors and checking for leakage. That's a brand new one. That's one of my electrolytics. Check all these. One thing they did say is if you have static, or Gerald said, this normal volume control, you can hear that, has some static, and this one really doesn't. And I've sprayed this one many times trying to clean it. He said that could be a sign that there's leaking DC voltage onto the pot. So I've only changed two. Like I said, I've changed these two and this resistor. So I've got a couple of more plate load resistors I could change, like that. There's a few in here somewhere. I'll have to spot them. And I'm going to do everything that doesn't change the tone of the amp. I think I must have changed this one here too. So that's a gold band. I'm pretty sure because it's a funky looking job. Pretty sure I did that one. But I don't see that where, I may have, hopefully I didn't throw it away. Either way, I'll let you know how it turns out. I'm going to check all these, but I have to unsolder each end to check them. So I'll be back. Okay, also I just took a reading on these without disconnecting them, and I'm getting 0.31 something volts DC leakage, so I hate to change these. I heard these last forever, so I'm going to unsolder these two because these are connected to the volume pots. Could be the reason I'm getting static on my one volume pot. I just thought you might want to get a look at those old speakers in there. They sound so good. They've been reconed by Orange County. Well, you guys will absolutely not believe this. I mean, I've been playing this amp for several years now, maybe 3. And started digging around in this thing. You know, it looked pretty original when I first got it. Not that I bought it as original, but you know, it had all the original parts. But still, somebody had gotten in here. You can see, like, they changed these plate resistors. This one's looks like a 2 watt, and this is probably a 1 watt. So those aren't right. But so I decided to change this. I don't know if you can see that very good. I started to change this plate load resistor, which is really hard to get to. This is pin 1. This is pin 1, which is bent over and tied into 7 over here underneath this resistor. They're tied together. And this is 2 and 3, and 4 or 5 are the filament. They're tied together. 9 is the, it goes to the filament. I don't know. That ties these all together, but I'm not real good at that. Either way, I got this resistor in there, and in the process I looked at the diagram, and this wire here was connected to pin 7 where these two were tied together. And I saw a little piece of wire look like there was a wire on this pin 8 at one time, and the diagram shows it should be on pin 8. So I tried to get a hold of Gerald. It's kind of late here now. It's midnight. He didn't respond, but so I just decided to take a chance and put it on this pin where the schematic shows. And you wouldn't believe the difference. I mean, the tone controls, it looks like this really affects the tone stack. It goes to all the tone stack, and everything just works killer. I've got, you know, a lot more mid-range, a lot more treble. So I'll show you guys later. I mean, it's like a whole different amp. The only problem is I'll turn it on. You can hear the noise is a lot more. Got a little more. I think it's just because its tone stacks are working. This is the treble. Actually, it doesn't sound too bad right now. Maybe we just had to settle down with all the correct voltages running through it. I couldn't believe it. How could anybody wire this thing that badly? I've still got the static. It's actually at an acceptable level now. I just can't believe that just trying to change out a few little things and I found a major wiring problem, and now it's like having a whole new amp. No wonder I couldn't overdrive this thing. I was getting nothing out of the tone stack probably. And it sounded good. So I'll let you guys know how it turns out. I'll definitely play it.